let's look at two example sentences. Number 1. Mohan felt over the moon when he got his first bike. And number 2. Nowadays, teenagers, they plan to join gym to become as fit as fiddle. So I have used two expressions, over the moon and as fit as fiddle. And these two expressions, they largely carry a figurative meaning, a non-literal meaning, and not the literal meaning of the words in it. And these are called figures of speech. Yesterday, one of my students, Sarika, she texted me and she wrote, "Ma'am, whenever there's a question where we have to identify figures of speech in the given verse, then I just get confused and I don't remember the names of these figures of speech. They're very complex." Honestly speaking, they are not complex and they could be fun to memorize and learn. We use them in our daily conversation without realizing that we have actually used a literary device called figure of speech. How often you have said, "Oh, I'm getting late, my mother's going to kill me." Thankfully, mothers don't kill anyone, but just a figurative way of saying how angry she will get. Hi, and under my series of Poetry Uncovered, this lesson is created to help students to avoid mistakes when it comes to identifying figures of speech in the given verse. Now there's an endless list of figures of speech, and I have picked only the ones which are there in your syllabus. And to better organize my lesson, we'll be studying them in the form of categories. So starting with the category number 1, we have figures of repetition and sound effects. And under this umbrella is included alliteration, assonance, consonance, anaphora, and onomatopoeia. So now the first in the list is alliteration. Alliteration is all around. Look at the tongue twisters. She sells seashells at the seashore. Kacha papad, pakka papad. And the catchy names, Kit Kat, Coca-Cola, they are all alliterations. Did you notice, students, in these following sentences, the words that begin with the same consonant sounds are lined up together or are close together to produce a writing technique called alliteration. Now look at the first line of Julius Caesar. "Hence, home you idle creatures, get you home." So Shakespeare has used the word, he has repeated the words with H sound so to capture the reader's attention, because that's the first line of Julius Caesar. Moving on to the next in this list is assonance. Here's the example. "East or West India is the best." So what is repeated? The vowel sound E is repeated irrespective of whether it is in the beginning of the word, middle of the word, or the end of the word. Another example, the hazy, lazy, crazy days of summer. What is repeated? The vowel sound A is repeated. So I think it's very clear. And now we move to the next, which is consonant. The third type is consonant. In consonants, there is repetition of similar consonant sounds in a sentence. Now you might think, then what is the difference between alliteration and consonants? There's a slight difference. While alliteration is repetition of similar sounds only in the beginning of the word. On the other hand, consonants includes words that have similar consonant sounds, and that could be in the beginning, in the end, or in the middle of the word. For example, I celebrate myself and sing myself. So in celebrate and sing, the consonant sound S is in the beginning, whereas in myself, the consonant sound S is in the middle. So the fourth one in the list is anaphora. And to explain this, I'll recite the first 4 lines of one of my favorite poems, Where the Mind is Without Fear by Rabindranath Tagore. This poem is very close to my heart and it's more like a prayer than a poem. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where the words come out from the truth, and on and on. So what do you think is repeated over here? And if your answer is the word where, then you are absolutely right. The poet has used the word where 7 times in the entire poem. And this is anaphora. So anaphora refers to deliberate repetition of words in every successive line. So it's not any sound, any consonant sound or a vowel sound, it's repetition of words. This is anaphora. So the last in this category of repetition and sound effect is the figure of speech onomatopoeia. Now this may sound a little weird and even the spelling is quite big, but I tell you this is the easiest one to identify if it is included in a poem. Now take a pause and listen carefully to all the sounds around you. The vegetables sizzling in the pan, the whir of the mixie grinder, the bang of the lift door, the beep of the car horn far away, the tick-tock of the clock, the drip of the water from the tap. All these words are onomatopoeia. Drip, tick-tock, whir, bang, ding-dong, all these are onomatopoeia. And poets, they include these in their poems to bring some sound effects in their verse. Yes, don't forget the woof of the dog. Now we have reached a category which is category of resemblance and relationship. And under this umbrella are included metaphor, simile, personification and apostrophe. So the first in the list is simile. Let's look at one example. The mother's eyes sparkled like diamond when she saw the first glimpse of her baby. Now in this sentence, the excitement of mother's eyes is compared with the sparkling of a diamond. Isn't this a very creative way of comparing 2 different things with same qualities? Let's go back to the beginning of the lesson where I used one sentence. Nowadays, teenagers, they join gym to become as fit as fiddle. So here fitness is compared to a fiddle. So simile is something where, it's a comparison where the comparison is done using the words like and as. So second in the list is metaphor. In metaphor, we directly compare. Something is something else. For example, if a girl is very beautiful, say she's a Barbie. And if someone works very hard, then you say, oh, he's a workhorse. So workhorse is a machine that can run for a very long time without stopping. So direct comparison. And the major difference or the key difference between simile and metaphor is that in metaphor a direct comparison, whereas in simile we make use of like and as. Now third in this category is personification. So here is one example. I can't believe my phone is dead. What do you mean by this? Phone is dead. Something that has life only can be dead. But when you say phone is dead, that means you have given a lifelike quality to a non-living thing. And this is what is personification. So now we come to the last in this category, which is apostrophe. So don't get confused with that apostrophe S. This is apostrophe figure of speech. Now here are a few sentences. Oh sun, why did you not shine today? Oh God, please protect me. Oh wind, why did you blow so wild? So what have we done? We are addressing inanimate things or something that is absent or something, some abstract idea we are addressing. So, and we are addressing these things where we are not getting any response from. So it's a form of personification. And every time when we use an apostrophe, then we put an exclamatory mark and then we start with the sentence. So it's like an addressing someone. So with this we come to the end of the second category under figures of speech. I think children, you can take a pause here. You can enjoy a stroll along in the room and then tap into whatever you have learned till now. And then we can continue as part 2 for our rest of the categories. Happy learning, children. And if you find this lesson useful, one way to tell me is give this lesson a thumbs up and subscribe so that you do not miss any of my lessons in future. Thank you for watching.